Hi, my name is Beth Hiley with BoardGameGeek, and I'm here with Hans van Tol to do a explanation and overview of Fortuna.
Okay.
So just take it away.
Well, Fortuna is about becoming happy,
Oh,
and
could be better.
it's something different than just getting a lot of money or a lot of power.
or victory.
So, but if you choose that, if you want much money, that's also one of the possibilities. So the players decide which road they choose, which is one of the it's a subtitle of Fortuna. In the game you can choose many roads. As you can see, there are 4 roads for the individual players. Each player will move upwards to the city of Rome. And as I explained, because happiness is the main thing, you can do this in several ways. You can marry, for example, which is, for example, this card.
Yeah, you can actually lay it right in the middle
Like
of the
that.
board. Yep.
This card, and it costs some money, but you could be happy in that way. Some people decide to marry very late in the game. That's a choice. Or you don't have to marry even. You can be a farmer and build grain and harvest the grain, or you can build, you can harvest wine. There are several things you can do in the game. But it's all, you can also decide to trade what you have built, like grain and wine, and make the money, and use that money to, for example, get your own centurions. So you build your own army, or you can invest in Vestal virgins, which is also very nice to do.
Army or virgins?
Yeah, it's quite different. There are a lot of things everybody may choose. Well, the basics of the game is that each player goes to Rome. The game ends when one of the players is in the center at the Palace of Caesar, and at that moment then the round will be finished.
Okay.
For example, if I finish here, I'm the orange player. This is the playing order.
Mm-hmm.
Now the blue player, the purple, and the gray may still do their thing, and it's the final round. But if gray ends up here, then it's finished.
Ah, so everyone should have an equal amount of turns.
Exactly, yeah. But the one who ends up there doesn't necessarily is the winner.
You just end the game.
Yeah, it's ending the game, so you can also stall the end of the game. You can decide when, depending on the privileges you have. Because in the game, each step is a victory point, but you have the special privilege cards, which gives you additional points, victory points. So when you're here, that's 15 points plus some privilege points. That's why Fortuna stays very exciting till the end of the game. You never know who has won. I sometimes have that 3 people were really convinced that they won the game, which is really nice. So that's one of the exciting things. And at the end of the game, if somebody finishes it, you must be in the center of Rome. That's one thing you have to do. Otherwise you cannot win it.
Ah, so
Okay.
past this 10 space mark.
Exactly. The 10th, that's what you have to do at least.
Yeah, so there's kind of this outer wall here.
Yeah.
I got it.
Well, let me explain to you now the basics of the game, what you do in a turn, right? For example, I'm the orange player. Now I can choose, for example, to make some water, or make from water, or harvest wine. Plus, here's my province board. You can see I already have 1 grain, 1 water, which you can also see on the board.
It's very nice color matched.
Yeah, and the wine here. I have 1 dice to throw with now. I have 1 Vestal virgin. You can have 3, so that's really good. And I have one centurion, and at the end I have one. This is that I'm not married at this moment.
Yes, not yet.
So this is what you have now, and you can build more during the game. Let's say, for example, I'm going to make some wine. I'm using this card. This is game phase 1, right? I could also say I'm
Turning in
turning
the
it
water.
in. I'm a risky player right now. That's it's not an advice to do, but just to show you a little bit what is possible. I'm delivering one. I'm getting one extra wine.
So you could do both of those that are pictured on that card.
Yeah, you can do them both. And for example, it would be smart maybe to sell my wine in the next round to get some money. So I'm switching. This is action 2. I'm switching the cards. This one I'm putting face down, so I have reserved it for the next round. Yeah. So then I can sell my wine if I want. Then we have the third phase. If I would like to do, I could use the military power to activate one of these cards, which I have left here. This is my cockpit. You always have 3 cards here.
Okay.
For example, I could say, let's do some extra water. This way, I have everything again, right? But I need to exchange that one to activate this card, right? And the fourth one is throwing with the dice. Well, that's the last part. I'm throwing 2. If I would have thrown 1 and I wouldn't have done that action, I would have a problem because I couldn't deliver what the Empire asks. Because these are the 6 favor fields, going up from 1 to 6. And because I have thrown 2, I can deliver water for the Emperor, wine for the orgy. I can do that twice, so I can go up even 2 steps, which I'm going to do, by the way. I'm going to show you.
Yeah.
It's a good option, which means I'm going up 2 steps.
So anytime we see this little staircase with an up arrow is walking along the path that will ultimately trigger the end of the game.
Exactly. Which is also a victory point. Now I can close this one. And now the next player has a chance to go up.
And just so I'll review these. Let's say it was. I know it's not me as gray, but let's say it was. So I would first activate a card, do a special power. Maybe I'm selling my grain for money. I would do that.
Yes.
Then I can switch a card if I really wanted to do.
You can switch it with one of the other 9.
Yeah. So maybe I'll. Now I'm guessing I can't switch one that you have
not
reserved.
That one. Exactly.
Right. So I want to reserve that for next round.
Yeah.
Then I can spend my centurion over here to activate one of the other 2 things in my cockpit, and then roll.
Yeah. That's how all the players go. And what you get in the round, I'll show you an overview of the round, and then I will explain these 12 cards, which are in detail the actions you can do, and this is the heart of the game. What we do, for example, the other players, one has delivered some centurions and another one has delivered water. In case, for example, the last player throws a 3, that's important to know. For example, the last player, in this case it would be you, but if you throw 3 but you don't have any grain, then the Caesar is really unsatisfied, let's say. So he says you have to pay 1, because everybody starts with 5 gold, 5 money. You have to pay 1 tax, because you cannot deliver what he asked.
He's displeased.
Yes, exactly. So what you see later in the round, there are less favor cards available to use to go up the stairs, right? Which is bad, because you also have to move and you have to be there in the center. What also happens at the end of the round, we are seeing who has a starting player card. That is this one. He is then the first one to go in the next round. And after that, you take a look at how much money, for example, if it's like this, the first player would be the orange, then we have the purple one, so it could change, then the blue one, and then gray. So that can change during the game.
So more money will bring you higher up into the turn order.
Yeah, exactly. And what happens is also, we put these privilege tokens. This is the way to get the privilege cards, which are very, very valuable. We put them on there, starting the next round. Okay, it's my turn again. What I do is, in the beginning, turn it like this. Now it's available. This is my cockpit. I can decide to, oh, well, I got only one wine now. That's not so smart. I had a very good idea of what I was doing, but I threw a 3 and I just did something else. What I could do, for example, is make some extra water, or do this one. This is interesting. This one, this is the starting player card, has two meanings. One is, if you have it in front of you, you're the starting player for the next round. Or you can use it to go an extra step. For example, I would say, I'm using this one. And for example, let's produce some extra wine. Or maybe, interesting, I would marry next time.
You'll have to swap it out at that
You have to swap it now, and now I can plan it for the next round. But the thing is that if now I can deliver, for example, I throw, for example, a 3. Now I can deliver something with a privilege token on it.
Right.
Really nice. There can be up to 2 or up to 3 tokens on a card. So if several rounds it's not being used, you get
no more than 3.
No, you get extra steps. In this case, since I have delivered one grain, I'm going up 1 step, and I'm getting 1 privilege card. For example, maybe I should marry now.
Yes,
very
I'm
soon.
guessing you get 3.
I keep it close. Nobody knows it. But if I'm married, I get 3 extra points.
Okay. But that's a secret to the table.
That's
so
a secret
they
to
don't
the
know
table.
that you like to get married now.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So these are the privilege cards. You have different kinds of privilege cards which bring you points. Several different kinds. But there are also, for example, even grain, extra resources during the game. Very nice to use. Or additional steps.
And can you turn those in when it applies at the appropriate
during
time?
the game, there's only one maximum of, you cannot use more than 1 of these in a round. Otherwise, just throw 4 cards and you're there. That would be
trigger
ridiculous.
the end of the game too fast.
Yeah. And you have here, with the 4 pawns on it, means that you can, this one you only use with 4 players. So it speeds up the game.
And this is a 3 to 4 player game, correct?
No, 2 to 4.
2 to 4.
Very good with 2. With 2, you can, the one who is the starting player, who has this card, can choose to turn down one of the other favor cards after that. And the other sides, for example, if these 2 players are playing, these 2 are just dummies. The cards stay there, you use the 12 action cards, no problem at all. I forgot to tell one thing. These are the favor cards because I only explained these few. This one is 1 step maximum for water, 2 for wine, 2 for grain. You can deliver 3 centurions, bringing you 3 steps further. And this one is if you're married, then there's here you can see the arrows, which is you give it up. Here, if you're married, you can move up 1. Without giving up anything. You don't have to divorce in this game.
I was wondering if that's where that was going.
Well, maybe an expansion, but at this moment, no. What you also can do is, for example, if you throw the 6, each virgin you have,
Your virgin.
you don't have to give them up.
Oh,
you can have up to 3 virgins and use them every time you like. So this is not a very realistic game maybe, but it's a nice element. So you keep them there, and But there are people who say, oh, I'm going for the virgins and gambling, but there is a risk. I will explain the 12 action cards and then we're practically done. Okay, we got this one already, getting to water. 2 pieces of water, 2 of grain, plus giving up extra water is extra gain.
Sort of fertilizing your fields gives you extra.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, exactly. With wine it's the same. Then it's logical to show you selling the wine. 3 per piece, 2 per
selling the grain.
Then you can invest, for example, in getting some virgins.
Always a good investment.
Always a good investment. Yes, indeed. What you could do is get another one, very nice, and that costs you 3. Yeah, that's what you count down here, 1, 2, 3, right?
And
or you could take another one at once, but that would be even 5 for another one, right?
If
so
you
could
you spend 8?
Yes,
and get
you
2
are allowed.
ones?
It's
All
possible
right.
in this case, and then but you have your hands full.
But poor.
That's you have to choose in this game. I know. You can also say, for example, let's get some centurions. Nice looking. Everybody can choose what he wants. Works the same.
Does get more expensive, but not as much.
Yeah. And for example, the purple player could, for example, use this card. This is the representation of the clearers card. It means giving up a virgin to get an extra dice because you want more control, which this is something the gamers like, of course. You can give up one of the virgins, but now they're very expensive, so it would be smarter to do it before.
Yes,
first, give up your one. Well, tactics, that will be something, when you play it more often, you'll find out how it works. Give up, this is a very stupid move at this moment, but
give up a very expensive virgin.
yes, a very expensive virgin for an extra die. And you can have up to 3 dice, but there are in total 8 dice, so it's limited.
So when they run out, too bad.
Yeah, too bad. Okay, let's go to the last ones. Here is the corruption card. Just 2 options, or you can get 2 money. Yes, you put it here. Or you pay 1 money to one of the other players and activate one of their cards. It gives you flexibility because you can also choose one which is closed.
Ah, so like the one maybe that you had locked in
reserved.
over there.
So you cannot take it, but you can use it, which is
interesting.
Nice. Yeah. Got that one. Okay, the marriage card. Pay 3 and you are married.
I assume you just move your little token down here into that marriage spot.
That's how it works. Yeah. Okay, you're broke, but at least you're married. You must be happy now. And after that, you can, if you play this card during the game and you're already married, it can give you 1 grain, 1 wine, or 3 gold.
But only one of those.
One of those, yeah, you can choose.
One bridal gift.
Yeah, sort of, yeah. Okay, well, the last one I'm going to explain is the building card, the architect. With this one, you can build one of these buildings, and you put them here. For example, if the orange player takes a market, costs only 0, so that's cheap. Costing nothing, and I can place it here. You can have a maximum of 3 of these buildings, but not the same sorts of buildings.
All right, and there's
so
only
you
4
have
types
to
of
diversify. Yeah, so for example, the other one could be an aqueduct. I'll explain them. This one is you get a +1 when you're selling wine for each wine, for example, or selling grain. So you get 4 per unit of wine. Yes?
And once you build these, they're yours forever. They never go away.
Yeah, exactly. This is the aqueduct. I could build that also. Then at my next turn, water is being placed there.
Generates water.
Water, but it's certainty of water. So it stays there. If in the next round I haven't used this one, it won't be filled there.
One cube.
I always have one cube there. That's a good thing. Okay, then we have this one. If you're married, then you can build a palace. It will cost you 2, but you're very happy, and your wife also, or your husband, of course. And if you throw 6, this one is also available. It's 1 to 6 now. It's available. You can move up 2 steps when you've built this one, right? Without giving up anything, which is really good. If you have 2 dice, that's something I'm not sure if I explained it. If you throw with 2 dice, you throw 6 and 1, you can choose which one you like. 6 would normally be the best one.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
And
I explained all the
there.
Yeah, the last building, that's the basilica. This one costs 3, but it will give you an extra privilege card to keep. Because if you, for example, that's important to know, if you use this one, for example, I would use this one. I am married, but I don't have that building yet, so I move up 1. I get 3 privilege tokens, and that means I can look at 3 privilege cards, but I can only keep 1. Which one would you choose?
Oh, let's see. Well,
virgins?
We are already married though.
Oh,
so that
we already have that one.
We already have that one, so.
So that
virgins.
would be
Points for
that
virgins.
would make no sense at all, right? You can only be married once in this game, right?
It's another expansion.
Okay, so this is how you build up your privileges. And last thing is that when somebody ends up here, they get 3 privilege cards to choose from, and they can keep 1. If somebody else comes there, for example, this one had already kept 1. If this one comes here, and you see it often, that it's very exciting in the center that somebody gets there, he can choose from 2 privilege cards from the top. This one gives you, for example, with the last example, you could keep another privilege card. Instead of only 1, you could keep 2.
And so your total score at the end of the game is how many steps along this path plus
the privilege cards. And that's why it's until the last second. It's you
the
never know as one.
Happiness wins.
Yeah, who's the most happy one? And you can even win without any virgins because you're happily married, right? So that's fine. Everything is possible in this game.
It certainly is.
It takes a bit more than an hour to play, and I advise you. You will see if you play it more often, you see more what is possible, and you will learn to play the game.
Yeah, this is definitely one that feels like you might need a play first to sort of get the feel of the game before.
And the second time you play it, you could choose that because at random we can distribute these cards in the beginning, but you can also choose then. The first one chooses a card, and this way you can build your own deck. You start. Okay.
Well, thank you, Hans, for showing us Fortuna.
You're welcome.
Are you guys selling it here at your booth at Essen?
Yes, we are getting through it pretty quickly.
I'm sure.
I'm afraid. But it's being received very well. So we're really excited.
I'm sure you've got quite the fan club watching, probably on live streaming right now.
Yeah. So it's a great initiative of you to do this. So I love being here. So we're going to enjoy Essen now.
Me too. It's my first time here. So all right. Well, thank you, and I'm sure we'll see you later in the convention.
Okay. Thank you.